Mark Gerretsen came out on his X account and said, I finally blocked someone on here today. I draw the line at foreign government paying you to engage online. Parliament needs to study this, and this person needs to be brought before committee to answer questions. And he screenshotted Cat Canada's account with him blocking her, and that was wild to see an MP do that. Jennifer L. did a really good piece on this on TikTok of kind of, Mark Gerretsen's never really been in her good books in general. He is kind of scummy in a lot of ways, and most politicians are pretty scummy in general, but he kind of takes the cake because he's a troll scummy. Like, he's very troll, and he's not a huge fan of the guy. So the fact he came after a journalist, in some ways also a private citizen, is tough to get behind. He swiftly took that tweet down. But before he did that, Cat Canada had to make this abundantly clear to the people.
Let me make one thing clear. Justin Trudeau's deputy government House leader, Mark Gerretsen, has crossed a line, and now the countersignal is lawyering up to defend me, a journalist, against his baseless, bigoted, and vindictive allegations that I'm a Russian agent. Let me make one thing clear. I'm not. I'm a single mother working tirelessly to hold Justin Trudeau accountable for his disastrous record. And because I'm effective at what I do, Gerretsen made me a target. He lied about me and used his position to call for me to be subpoenaed by Parliament. But we're not backing down. We're not letting one of Canada's most notorious Liberals drag my name through the mud simply because he doesn't like the truth. Neither I nor the countersignal have ever taken a dime from Tenant media or the Russian government. These accusations are not just false, they're reckless. The damage caused by Gerretsen is serious. He's used his position in Trudeau's government to attack me and, by extension, the countersignal. We're one of few truly independent outlets in Canada, refusing federal money so we can bring you the real news about Trudeau and his government without fear. And Gerretsen hates us for it. In an emotional outburst, he made a dangerous mistake, and we will hold him personally accountable for this. Gerretsen will almost certainly use government lawyers to defend his indefensible actions. We don't have endless piles of taxpayer cash to light on fire, so we need you to stand with us while we take Gerretsen to court. If you stand with us, please go to suegerretsen.com to donate to our legal fight. That's suegerretsen.com. Thanks.
And that's not someone's name. We're actually going to sue Gerretsen. It was really funny when she read that. I was like, that sounds like someone's name. But Cat Canada came in hot. She's a very vivacious personality, someone who loves to mix it up and get out there. I've had a pleasure of talking to her on a couple occasions. I enjoy chatting with her. And she is a hardcore personality in a lot of ways, let alone who she works for. She's scrappy. There's a reason why she works for the countersignal. There's a reason why she works in independent media. And it's because, she's a fighter. She loves to get in the mix and throw some bows. And the fact that, politicians will say things here, politicians will say things there, journalists will do X, Y, and Z things. It's a whole other when you get accused of being a Russian agent. Where did this come from is the question. First off, this whole thing happening with she mentioned something called Tenant media. We'll get in. What is Tenant media? And I think that is something we need to address here early on. So Tenant media is a media agency that was established down in Tennessee, down in the States, by two employees of RT Media, which is or RT News, which is a Russian propaganda news outlet, national news outlet over in Russia. And there was things that these two people started this news station down in Tennessee, and they actually went about hiring different YouTube creators and different social media personalities to try and spread Russian propaganda, Russian misinformation. This actually was true. This came out about two different creators that you're able to get on their payroll. It's not clear what happened yet or what's going on, but they did hire two American creators to spread right-wing propaganda, whatever that means. So that happened down in the States. Mark Gerretsen, as you know, always was the thing the Liberals have been doing over the past year, was accusing the Conservatives of bringing American-style politics north of the border. Mark did this here. He saw what was going on in the news. He saw what was happening. And down in the States, and he's like, that must be happening here. Russia's coming after us. Meanwhile, he won't pay any attention to what China's doing or what India's doing. No, we're going to focus on what Russia's doing. And let's be honest, Russia does get involved in a lot of the West's electoral processes. But it is really interesting that he keeps picking and choosing which foreign interference he's going to go after. I was here on the show probably a couple months ago losing my mind because I didn't feel like any of our political people or MPs were doing really anything about foreign interference. Remember when we found out there were people in the in Parliament who knew about foreign interference, who were involved in foreign interference, who were actual agents of foreign interference? I lost my mind. I was well recorded doing that. But the Liberals, and it just seems like what side of the line of the party you're on, you decide, oh, I'll pay attention to this, pay attention to that. So obviously Mark Gerretsen here, who just kind of read this on his phone one day and said, well, this Cat Canada is causing me a lot of problems. You know what? I'm such a great MP. I am electrifying. I am probably the best politician that anyone's seen in this country. I am so awesome. So this person must be a Russian agent that they're coming at me so hard. So he tweets that out. He posts that on X. And Cat comes at him hard. So what happens next? Well, Mark Gerretsen takes down the tweet, revises, and says something along these lines. Says, okay, guys, my language may not have been that clear. I find Cat Canada's content to be divisive, alarmist, and deeply offensive. The Press Progress report of the video of Katrina with Lauren Southern and Press Progress's report of the video's alleged connection to a Russian influence campaign is deeply alarming. I'm not interested in interacting with or amplifying that kind of division. So I'm going to be blocking Katrina because of her connection to that mess. I'm not alleging that Katrina herself was paid by the Russians. Correction, Cat Canada. So this was his, well thought out, quote unquote thought tweet. And it really, really reeks the fact he still, in other ways, still connected her to Russian disinformation. She was linked to a Russian disinformation campaign. So, or a Russian influence campaign, I should say. That's kind of what's happening here. And this is kind of concerning because we have a liberal MP, doesn't matter, an MP altogether, is coming after a private citizen. I guess you can say she's a journalist, so maybe she's not a private citizen. It's kind of that weird gray line, middle ground that's happening there. But she's an independent journalist. Yeah, she's gone after the liberal government, whatever. It's kind of weird to be able to come out about a citizen and saying that you are under Russian influence with nothing to back it up. He's got nothing. Many people have posted about this and talked about it. And he still pulled away some terminology to make sure he doesn't get in total trouble and get his pants completely sued off. But to still allege that she's linked to this, it's pretty wild. And that is a concern in general. So we'll see what happens of this. We'll see how we move forward. We'll be kind of keeping in the know of what's going on. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on what's happening with Tenant Media because that's starting to unfold in the States and what's happening there. But it's just a classic liberal, this particular liberal party move. Someone's disagreeing with us, they must be far right. Someone's disagreeing with us, they must be Russian disinformation. We're seeing it south of the border right now. As we're getting closer and closer to that American election, the conversations around Russian misinformation, Russian influence campaigns is racking up like crazy. But we won't talk about the plethora of other things that are happening where we see the Democratic Party completely infiltrated by foreign entities. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about all the ways the Liberal Party up here is corrupted by foreign entities. But we'll point the finger over at Russia. Russia. Here we go again. That was electric, wasn't it? Well, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. If you did, you can check this video out here to the top right corner right near my window. Get over. There it is. is. There it is right there. And if you liked that, you can also check this one right here. We love you. Have a good one. Peace out.